All right, let's get into it. Today we're going to tell a story. It's a story of succession, a quiet revolution that happened right inside our spreadsheets. This is about an old master and the apprentice that was destined to take its place. For years, for decades, if you used spreadsheets, you used VLOOKUP. It was the undisputed king. But you probably know this all too well. This king had some serious flaws. Flaws that caused who knows how many headaches and late nights for people everywhere. A change was desperately needed. And what came next didn't just patch the holes, it totally redefined the game.
And this quote from a Some Product article just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? This captures the feelings so many of us had. This wasn't some minor inconvenience. VLOOKUP was a function that people genuinely, passionately disliked. So, let's break it down. What exactly made this old master so frustrating to work with?
All right, so let's dig into the why. What were the fundamental problems, the core limitations that made VLOOKUP so fragile?
Okay, this right here, this is VLOOKUP's Achilles heel. Its biggest, most dangerous flaw. It relies on a hard-coded column number. That means if you or a colleague innocently inserts a new column in your data, the formula doesn't even tell you it's broken. It just silently starts pulling the wrong information. And that is terrifying. And if you delete a column, well, the whole thing just explodes into a #ref error. It's just incredibly brittle.
And oh, the list just keeps going. It couldn't look to its left. How many times did you have to totally rearrange your data just to make it work? Its default setting was an approximate match, which was a huge source of really subtle errors. And on top of that, it was slow, grabbing way more data than it needed, which really bogged things down on larger files. These flaws were just crying out for a solution.
And then along came our hero, the apprentice, XLOOKUP. It was literally designed from the ground up to solve every single one of those headaches with a clean, modern, and just plain smarter structure.
The real magic, the genius of XLOOKUP is right here in its first three arguments. Instead of asking for a whole table and a column number, it just asks three simple, direct questions. Hey, what are you looking for? Where should I look for it? And which column has the answer? This simple change completely decouples the lookup from the return, which makes it unbelievably robust. And bam! Just like that, the number one problem with VLOOKUP is gone. Poof! That infamous I can't look to the left issue, solved. You just tell XLOOKUP, hey, look for the ID in column C and give me the name back from column A. It's that simple, that intuitive, no more cutting and pasting columns just to make your formula work. Just look at this comparison. When you lay it all out side by side, it's not even a contest. XLOOKUP handles reverse lookups natively. It defaults to a much safer exact match, and it has error handling built right in. That means no more wrapping every single formula in that clunky IFR function. It's got all the power of the old index/match combo, but it's way easier to read and write. But wait, there's more. XLOOKUP isn't just about fixing the past. Its true power, its mastery, comes from its optional arguments. These unlock superpowers that the old master couldn't even dream of. This is where things get really cool. Sure, you can do an exact match, but you can also find the next smaller item, perfect for things like tax brackets or commission tiers, or the next larger item. You can do wildcard searches for when you only remember part of a customer's name. And for the real power users on 365, there's even a regex mode for finding super complex text patterns. The flexibility is just incredible. Okay, here's a situation I bet you've run into. You've got a long list of sales for a product, and they're all time-stamped. You don't want the first sale, you need the price from the most recent one, the last one in the list. How would you do that? You're not going to believe how easy this is. You just add a -1 as the last argument in the formula. That's it. It literally tells XLOOKUP to start from the bottom of your list and search up. A problem that used to require some seriously crazy array formulas is now solved with a minus sign. It's so elegant. All right, let's talk to the big data people for a second. You're not working with a few hundred rows, you're working with a million. Every millisecond of calculation time counts. So what about raw performance? How does XLOOKUP stack up? This is where XLOOKUP goes into warp speed. It has a binary search mode. Now, there's one catch. Your data has to be sorted for this to work, but if it is, the performance difference is just insane. Instead of checking every single row one by one, it's like ripping a phone book in half over and over until it zeroes in on the right page. It is exponentially faster.
So finding one piece of data is cool, but what if you could find an entire list of data, all with a single formula? This is where XLOOKUP really becomes a master, by teaming up with Excel's modern dynamic array engine. Let's take the classic two-way lookup. You remember that old index match monster, right? Look at how clunky that formula is. Now look at the new way. It's just a clean, nested XLOOKUP. The inner XLOOKUP finds the correct column for you, and the outer XLOOKUP finds the correct row within that column. It's logical. It just makes sense. And this is where the magic really kicks in. You can use a function like unique to create a list of, say, all your unique product names. That list spills down the column. Then you can feed that entire spilled list into a single XLOOKUP formula to get all of their corresponding prices. One formula, in one cell, does the work of hundreds. That's called functional chaining, and it is an absolute game changer. All right, let's go to the final level. This is where we stop thinking of XLOOKUP as just a lookup tool and start seeing it for what it truly is. A powerful building block for some seriously advanced formula logic, all powered by tools like Lambda. Now, don't let the name Lambda scare you. All it does is let you create your own little custom functions inside Excel. You basically package up a complex calculation, give it a name, and then you can reuse it over and over. Think of it like creating your own custom Lego block. This is a super clever trick. Let's say you need to find something that matches two different criteria, like product A and the North region. You can create two separate logical checks. In Excel, a true is a 1 and a false is a 0. So when you multiply those two checks together, you only get a 1 on the one single row where both are true. Then you just tell XLOOKUP, hey, go find me that 1. It's a clean, brilliant way to handle multiple conditions. And okay, put on your seatbelts because this is the whole shebang. The map function is like an assembly line. It can take two lists, say a list of products and a list of regions, and it runs our custom Lambda function for every single pair of items. So for each set row, it runs that multi-criteria XLOOKUP we just saw. The result? One single formula in one single cell can build an entire report. No more dragging formulas down thousands of rows. It's just incredible. So there you have it. We went from a flawed but necessary king to an apprentice that didn't just replace the master, it created a whole new school of thought. XLOOKUP isn't just a better VLOOKUP. It's a fundamental building block for a smarter, faster, more powerful way to work with data. So the only question left is, now that you have this power, what are you going to build with it?